right, well, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's talk about planning and setting those goals. Having a clear plan really starts by defining realistic, practical goals that you're going to want to focus on. This helps to keep your efforts focused and achievable. Now, you might have overall goals for your business or even goals that relate to your specific marketing activities. So we like to say, start by thinking about these two questions here. One, are there new things that I should implement? Maybe that's a new social channel or some other tool that you want to try. And number two, are there existing things that you're already doing that you might want to improve on? Maybe capturing sales or donations from your email marketing efforts or getting more people on your list. The thing about goals is that you want to remember done is better than perfect when it comes to setting these goals. So don't overthink it, just get something down on paper so that you can get to working towards those goals. So David, I'd love it if you could kick us off here. What do you find is your best advice for setting these real world goals for businesses or nonprofit organizations?
Yes, you're right, Stephanie. That's the first step because the goals are what really drive the next steps that need to happen with marketing. And when we start working with some of our clients, one of the questions is, what are your goals? And the typical answer is, well, I want to grow sales, I want to get more customers, or so on. But that's a very broad goal. And what we find after the conversation is the need to narrow down the goal to something a little bit more specific. So for example, do you want to increase the average transaction amount in your business? Do you want to introduce a new product line or service line? Do you want to improve or change or build a website? So those are far narrower goals to meet, and those will drive the type of marketing tools and messaging that you're going to have to put in place. So for example, if you are a jewelry store, for example, and you want to introduce a new jewelry designer, you need to figure out the combination of marketing tools that integrate together that help you reach that goal. The vast majority of tools today are digital. Obviously, there's space also for things like direct mail or even a signage in a store, things like that. But the vast majority of ways that people will find your organization, whether it's a nonprofit or whether it's a for-profit company, is the digital world. So on the nonprofit side, an example of goals is similar to a profit business. I want to increase the average donation amount. I want to get new donors. I want to introduce a new campaign. Those very specific goals, again, will help determine what you need to do to reach them.
Great. Now, in terms of realistic goals and setting numbers, how do you set something that's a bit of a challenge, but also obtainable for your business?
So there are two ways to look at it. If you have prior data and you want to improve on it, so for example, if you have existing sales or an existing number of customers or things like that, we find that a goal of anywhere of between 5 and 15% in terms of improvement is something realistic. It's always better to reach a goal or even exceed it than to try to reach an unrealistic goal that will be very difficult to hit, and it becomes really an exercise in frustration. If you do have prior data, then that will be easier. If you don't, start with simple measurable goals, depending on the organization. It could be something like getting 1 new customer a month, or selling at least X dollars per month, or growing by 5% the following month. Keep it simple, measurable. Once you start getting data, then you can, for the future, start using those numbers as a basis for future goals.
Great.